Okay. Uh, Recently there was a new rumor, uh, by Emily Rogers, and it is about the fact that Retro Studios is not working on a new Donkey Kong or Metroid game, but will be working on a new IP for the Nintendo NX. Well, first and foremost, that is old rumor. It's been floating around forever, and then it ultimately gets disproven because Donkey Kong Country returns. Donkey Kong Country returns. Tropical Freeze, etc., etc., etc. Uh, what I could say though is, besides that point, is due to the recent information given out by the Nintendo's investors meeting, well, at the Nintendo's investors meeting, that that the Nintendo NX will not be unveiled at E3, and B, no games for it are said to be revealed at E3. This would, as well as other uh, rumors and rumors conflicting with facts, if this holds out, Emily Rogers will, in my book, at least lose good source status. It is just that simple. Uh, she has been wrong in the past about some things, and quite frankly, she's been wrong enough to not have a perfect score, or just quite simply put it, supermajority, which is a 71% and or greater or accuracy rate. Some of the recent oopses and information gaffes and things that are not correct would essentially lower her below 65-60. So, a few more rumors that are incorrect would result in her from going from a good source to a okay rumor source. And she's actually at okay now, and quite frankly, that's just the general pattern with Nintendo rumors. Most Nintendo rumors are not accurate for a great deal. Now, here's another very important detail. According to my tracks of information, which is a mixture of official information released by Nintendo investment, uh, brain fart, Nintendo official press releases, staffing updates, and so on and so forth. Uh, Nintendo has basically laid off or well, let's just say fired uh, the vast majority of their PR staff and swapped through quite a few people. And that is official information given by Nintendo. In fact, Nintendo of Europe basically fired their entire PR staff, and Nintendo of America has basically gotten rid of the vast majority of its PR staff. Nintendo of Europe and United States and Latin America and pretty much most of the world except for Japan has basically shed at least north of 81% of their business PR staff, which is representatives who go and talk to companies. Say, like, someone from Nintendo goes to EA, talks with them about their new product lines, and gives EA information. EA gives information to that person, etc., etc., so forth. Nintendo has pretty much fired pretty much all those people worldwide, and the only people that basically remain that are from before the Wii U era, or even from the Wii U era, are in Japan. And Nintendo has basically swapped out a lot of people. Now, this is actual official information from Nintendo. It's been picked out of various articles and uh, staffing changes, official information stuff on site. They're basically just flushing everything out. Also, according to side information, Nintendo is very well aware of the leakers and has essentially gained control of the vast majority of them. And I do not know exactly who, but Nintendo has a long history of controlling to a very extreme degree of their release information and all kinds of stuff like that. So, and according to very good sources myself, uh, for me, Nintendo has actually purposefully misfed information to the rumor generators, and we might be seeing some very interesting stuff. So, what we could be seeing, what we've probably been hearing the past few months, and possibly the next few months, and I do not exactly know how far back exactly, but Nintendo may have just been screwing with all the rumor people. So Emily Rogers and Gino and Liam Robertson could actually just be manipulated into doing PR research for Nintendo. Say like Nintendo feeds one some information through other people, sees what they do, or just screws with them. And Nintendo has an extremely long history. I'm not joking, extremely long history of doing that. The vast majority of Nintendo rumors are proven wrong. If they're more than just like a few words or like a sentence, about no bigger than the title of this video, they're pretty much almost always wrong. There's only been a few rumors and leaks that I have come across, or anyone has ever really come across, that has been more substantial than the title of this video in size. And that's only like 3 months out. So there was a Splatoon leak of the Splatoon boy, girl, and squid amiibos. I came across that way long time ago, about 2 or 3 months before it even came out in the United States, before they even were released. I didn't do a video about those. I was planning on doing it, but I kind of just let things slid over, and that was true, and that was basically, as I said, only 2 or 3 months. It came out of a source out of South Africa, and there's actually a pretty good source down in South Africa I use periodically that has groups of sources in South Africa that I utilize here and there, and I've found that they are actually pretty good for vast majority of things like amiibo releases and stuff like that. Mostly Nintendo product releases. They work in retail companies, so they actually get lists of what's coming out in the next 2, 3, 4 months. And as far as they understand and everything else, Nintendo keeps everything super close. And I've known this for years, that Nintendo keeps things super close until at least 3 months out from the event. So if Nintendo NX is going to be unveiled in March, you pull 3 to 4 months prior to that, and that is essentially December. So there. But then again, Nintendo is possibly gonna show it off earlier than that. But that is, December is basically the early point where we are gonna get the big picture of what the Nintendo NX is in the early launch. From there, before December 2016, we might get bits of information from Nintendo. We might get a game reveal here and a there, but basically from December to March, that's when we will get the meat of the information. And that's basically proven out by Nintendo history and history of Nintendo and so forth. But anyways, just everyone is just going with Emily Rogers, and I hate to break it, people kind of forget when she is wrong. They don't always write it down when she's wrong, and she's keeping her good source status, even though technically she is no longer a good source status. And according to various pipelines that have been proven to me to be very accurate multiple times, months in advance, Nintendo is actually starting to manipulate rumor generators. And actually, I can't say starting to. They have actually been doing it. I have no clue exactly when they started, but at some point, Nintendo managed to gain control of the channels that in which the information leaks out and is messing with people. Well, let's compare Nintendo to another company that's very much in the same uh, company philosophy group as Nintendo, which is Apple. Apple rumors are when they leak out, they often are. Apple has a looser grip on information than Nintendo does. Nintendo has historically is one of the most difficult companies to get leaked information from. So, as I have generally learned very much, uh, if it's more than a sentence or two, it is most likely not correct. So, there. I will still report on such rumors, but given that me double checking all the numbers on various sources and the recent decline in quality of information coming from various sources, and the few sources that I do know that are really good starting to uh, it's becoming more clear that information that's coming out of leakers is not as accurate as the leakers think it is, and that Nintendo is seriously has control of the reins, or has regained, or may have never lost control of the information itself. So, most part, let's just move it to the point here. Most Nintendo rumors are false. In fact, so many of them are false that a looking back through the information, double checking, even people who are considered good rumor sources are not that good compared to other companies. It was like someone comparing a good Nintendo rumor source to a good Sony rumor source. The Sony rumor source has a far better accuracy rate than the Nintendo source. Nintendo is one of the hardest companies to get rumors and information from. And eventually, most people who trade in Nintendo rumors, well, trade in leaked information, which are actually just rumors. They typically are only decent sources for about 1 to 2 years, and then they go to hell. They just completely become worthless after that because Nintendo apparently at some point finds the mole that's leaking the information and shoots the sucker in the head. So, and many Nintendo employees know Nintendo is very strict about information leaks. So, And Nintendo has a habit of just liquidating staff from non-necessary divisions. Nope. If you are anywhere in Nintendo and you're not top management or developer, you are liquidatable. And as I said, Nintendo does at least mass liquidations every 4 or 5 years, typically right around when new major consoles release or just before. So good information leakers don't last. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget, Emily Rogers is not as always correct as she always as people seem to make her out to be. Bye.